Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas. So today we are starting on our solo Daggerheart campaign. Now we played the starter adventure using one of the pre-generated characters. We did that and we completed that in 2 sessions, and what we are now going to attempt to do is we're going to just do a normal campaign. This will probably go for the next few weeks over into Belgium. I'm moving to Belgium. And we'll probably travel over there. I have got the core book printed. We will use that for the starting part, and then I'll stick it in the boxes in August to go off to Belgium, and we'll just rely upon PDFs from that point. Now, I will have the core book, and I will expect you to have the core book as I'm talking about stuff, but you do not need the core book, and I proved that by the first 2 sessions. You just need the free stuff that you can get off the Daggerheart website. There's the SRD document to give you the core rules. There's the starter adventure, which also gives you a talk through the core rules. And one of the core things that we'll be using is the Sablewood location. Now, what we're going to do is we'll be using the Heart Guide GME, the Game Master Emulator, and the solo toolkit that I wrote that has been available on Drive Thru for quite a while. And accompanying that, I have been writing, and we will be using Solo in Sablewood, which is a Daggerheart-compatible solo guide to the Sablewoods. We will be using that extensively. Now, that's not available on Drive Thru yet this week, but next week when this goes live, which will be Daggerheart Session 2 will go live on the 30th of August. On the 30th of August, this will be available on Drive Thru. The majority of it is written. I need to finish doing the layout between this week and when this goes live, and then this will be available solo in Sablewood, which will be available on Drive Thru RPG. We'll be using that as of next session. This session, as I said, we're going to focus on just creating a character to solo. Now, often when I play solo games, you'll notice that I don't just play one character. The majority of the times I play a collective, an ensemble of characters. Sometimes I will begin as with Dragonbane. We began just with Quackbane as one character, and then we found companions and we found them along the way. I'm planning on doing the same thing for Daggerheart. What we're going to do is we're going to decide upon a starting character, and we will generate that character, and then chances are we will find people along the way and we will draw them into our group, because I think, based on a lot of the characters and reading through the books, that synergy is a key thing within the Daggerheart game. Daggerheart being a narrative-based collaborative game, its core mechanics for some of the characters, even some of the ways that you spend hope, involve helping other characters, and so we will be losing some of that mechanics and some of that gameplay in only being a solo player with one character. Now, a lot of the rules, when you read things that are written for solo, they expect you to just play one character, and if you just like playing one character, that's fine. This will work fine for you. We will do as we're going to do today. We'll focus on one character. But if you like that mixture or thinking and writing and creating creativity, multiple interactions between people, that social reaction, then this is probably what we will end up doing by having more than one character. So first off, we need to think about what sort of characters does Daggerheart have. Now, we've got the standard sort of characters, but we also have some additional Daggerheart specific characters. So we have a bard, we have a druid, we have a guardian. Now, a guardian is more like a defensive, a tank. So in the World of Warcraft or the MMO type stuff, a guardian is more of a tank. We have the ranger, the rogue. A seraph is one of the Daggerheart specifics, which is, let me read it for you. So a seraph is defined here as a divine fighter and healer imbued with sacred purpose. It's taking the paladin a bit further to be an angelic. So it takes the paladin from being, this is from my cursory readings. As I've always do with everything, I've cursory read, and I will read deeper as we play and we discover more. Of course, I've read a lot about Sablewoods and how that mechanic works. That's how I've written a lot of the stuff in there. But I've included some of my own mechanics, including a faction mechanic. So the same sort of thing as you've seen in various other places for having factions. And we'll have a threat mechanic, which is very much like the Dragonbane threat mechanic. But all of these mechanics, I'm not just stealing from one source, I'm stealing from multiple sources. Oh, sorry, homage, paying homage. We also have a sorcerer, we have a warrior, and we have a wizard. So they're all your standard classes. Now, when I'm reading through them, I'm thinking possibly we will either be a warrior, a guardian, or maybe a ranger. The ranger might be okay because we have a potential of having a companion, a beast companion, which we can then interact with, and we can have assistance on the battlefield. Now, probably we will only do Theatre of the Mind as we did in those 2 sessions, I don't know, I think it makes more sense solo playing Theatre of the Mind, unless you like the skirmish and setting up the skirmish. But for me, setting up the skirmish, because I'm recording and various other things, adds a huge layer of overhead to the actual play. Also, if I set up a table, it needs to look nice for you. So I'm putting a lot of effort and energy into basically, which I used to do, and I used to love building terrain, but I've sold all my terrain now. So at some point I'll probably start building terrain again when I'm in Belgium, and when that happens then we will have more tables and have more miniatures, because I'll have the terrain to make it look pretty for you. Otherwise, what you'll be seeing would be a couple of miniatures hiding behind a mug and some dice and an eraser, because that's all I have at the moment. So we'll do Theatre of the Mind. So first off, let's start going through the process of generating our character. And I think at this point, we might go for a ranger. We might have a ranger. The fighter would be cool, but I think we're going to go with a ranger at this point. So what you need to generate a character is you need to turn to page 16 in the book to start off with. Now, what they provide us with is ease of generating characters. Each type, you can have a standard character sheet, but in the book, the appendices, but you can also download these. So I got these off of the Daggerheart website, which is specific character sheets for the characters. There are also some additional, I think it's called The Void. There are 2 additional, I think one is an assassin and one may be a caster of some type. Additional characters that you can also choose from. We're not going to use those. We're only going to use the core ones that we can get hold of in the core book or in the SRD. All of these characters are also in the SRD. Now, if we get a chance for an additional character, I will consider getting a magic user, because then we can explore how magic works. Although I think the ranger has a minor type of magical abilities. So, how do we start generating characters? Step 1, we choose our character, ranger. Step 2, we need to think about and choose the subclass. Now, each of these comes originally with 2 subclasses. There are additional subclasses that they will release, and there are additional subclasses that already people, you can come up with them yourself, and the same as characters and classes. You can come up with them yourselves, you can sell it on Drive Thru. There's various different discussions around the licensing of Daggerheart and whether it's being harsh or not being harsh. So far from my reading of it, it's not that harsh, and you can create your own things and put them up for Drive Thru for sale. As I have done, you can do also. So we have, our ranger has 2 types of subclasses. There is the Wayfinder, which is if you want to hunt your prey and strike with deadly force, and there is the Beastbound if you want to form a deep bond with an animal ally. We will go Beastbound. So our first step is choose our class, choose our subclass. So we'll go through the ranger, and if you want to play a ranger, then you can take it the same. Ranger might be good for soloing, and you can attempt to do ranger, but basically you get your character sheet and then you'll go through the bit in the book or the SRD. So I'm using the core book. So our domains are Bone and Sage, which is already written at the top of my sheet. Bone and Sage is my domains. My starting evasion is 12, but I think everybody starts at 12. No, they change. Guardian is a 9, Druid is a 10. So we start at 12. Our starting hit points are 6. We have a class item, which suggests things such as a broken compass, a trophy from your first kill. So we are going to take a broken compass because I like the sounds of that. The hope feature for a ranger is hold them off, which is spend 3 hope, and when you succeed on an attack with a weapon, to use that same roll again against 2 additional adversaries within range of the attack. So you basically, if it's firing a bow, you're bouncing the bow off of people. This is already here. And then we have our class feature is Ranger's Focus. Spend a hope and make an attack against a target. On a success, deal your attack's normal damage and temporarily make the attack's target your focus. Until this feature ends, or you make a different creature your focus, you gain the following benefits against your focus. You know precisely what direction they are in. When you deal damage to them, they must mark a stress. When you fail an attack against them, you can end your Ranger's Focus feature to re-roll your duality dice. So try it again. Our subclass being Beastbound. Spellcast trait is Agility. Foundation feature, Companion. You have an animal companion, they stay by your side. Take the Ranger's Companion sheet when you level up your character. Specialization feature, Expert Training. Choose an additional level up option for your companion. Battle bonded. When an adversary attacks you while they are within your companion's melee range, you gain a +2 bonus to your evasion against the attack. So if it's someone like a wolf or something, maybe a wolf. Wolf would be nice. All right, let's keep going. Choose your heritage. Your character's heritage reflects their lineage, impacting their physicality and granting them 2 unique features. So what are we? This is the I will call it species. This is the species where you originate from. Fawn, Caprine Leap. You can leap anywhere within close range as though you were normal movement, allowing you to vault obstacles, jump across gaps or scale barriers with ease. Kick. When you succeed on an attack against a target within melee range, you can mark a stress to kick yourself off of them, dealing an extra 2d6 damage and knocking back either yourself or the target to very close range. Okay, so knocking them back by 1. That's quite cool. That would make, so the fawn resembles a humanoid goat with curving horns. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all, really. Giant fawn. A fawn with a wolf companion is quite cool. Human is what I would normally go for, but that's a bit boring. I think we might go fawn. We'll go fawn and see. What's elf? Quick reaction. Mark a stress to gain advantage on a reaction roll. Celestial trance. During a rest, you can drop into a trance to choose an additional downtime move. Nope, we're going to go fawn. We will be a fawn. So once you've chosen that, you can grab the card for your ancestry and your heritage. The cards contain the information on them. The cards are also available from downloading from the Daggerheart website. What I did was I downloaded them. I went to Print Online AU and asked, paid for them to print them onto cardstock, and then I cut them out. Took ages and put them into little things. So fawn. Next is our community. So this is where we were born into. We have highborn, lawborn. Being part of the lawborn community means that you're from a society that favours strong academic or political prowess. Alderborn, being part of the Alderborn community means that you are from a collective that focuses on discipline or faith. Ridgeborn means you've called the rocky peaks and sharp cliffs of the mountainside home. I reckon because we're going to be Sablewood, it's something to do with the trees. Underborn means that you're from a subterranean society. There is part of the Sablewoods that is underground. Slyborn means you come from operates outside of the law. Wildborn is probably what we want. Wanderborn means that you've lived as a nomad, foregoing permanent home and experiencing a wide variety of cultures. That might be good. Community feature, nomadic pack. Add a nomadic pack to your inventory. Once per session, you can spend a hope to reach into this pack and pull out a mundane item that's useful to your situation. Okay, or Wildborn. Lightfoot, your movement is naturally silent. You have advantages on rolls to move without being heard. I think we are going to say that we come from within the Sablewoods and we are Wildborn. A Wildborn fawn does actually sound quite like it goes together. So we are a fawn who is Wildborn. So we've chosen our ancestry, we've chosen our community. In Daggerheart, you're not asked to pick specific languages for your character. This game assumes that everyone speaks a common language. and that sign language is widely understood across cultures and communities. If you'd like to have specific regional languages in your campaign, discuss options with your table. So I'm very much in agreement with that. I think though having languages is very interesting and very realistic, it does spoil the flow of the game somewhat. So now we assign our character traits. The back of this sheet, let's move all this tat out of the way. And I've got my Ranger Beastbound card as well. I don't think I'll need any of those ones anymore now. Right, our starting traits. It's suggested we go for agility as our plus, strength, finesse, instinct, presence with -1, and knowledge. So let me tell you about them. So agility allows us to sprint, leap, and maneuver. A high agility means that we're fast on our feet and nimble. We take difficult terrain easily, and we're quick to react to danger. Strength is strength. Finesse means that we're skilled at tasks that require accuracy, stealth, or the utmost control. Finesse rolls to use fine tools or escape notice, so probably would want a high finesse. Instinct means that you're keen sense of your surroundings. Presence is like charm or performance, so probably a low presence because we have been off on our own quite a lot. And knowledge is recall. We have a +2, +1, +1, 0, 0, -1 to distribute. I think I will go with their suggestion, which is +2 on agility, 0 for strength, +1 finesse, +1 instinct, -1 presence, 0 for knowledge. That actually does sound very sensible. We have our evasion, as I said, is 12. Our hit points is 6. Our stress is 6. We start with 2 hope. Then we've got our starting equipment, and then we'll do our beast. Our starting equipment is just written on, so it's written on the sheet. It's basically torch, rope, basic supplies, handful of gold. We can choose between the health or a stamina potion. Then we've got the broken compass. We will take leather armor, and we will have a short bow. And a short bow, which uses agility. So basically for our character, our ranger, who I haven't given a name yet, to hit would need to roll 2d12, add them up, and add 2, which is the agility, to try and get equal to or above the evasion. So someone with an evasion of 12, we'd need to roll 2d12, add 2, and try and get 12 or higher to hit. And that's basically that bit. So we have our equipment, which is a torch, 50 foot of rope, some basic supplies, a minor healing potion, and a handful of gold. Next we create our background. Now we have a sheet that they give us which has got some background questions, so we'll quickly run through those. We'll probably describe our character. I'll give it some more thinking time, and we can describe them as we go into the next session. But we've got a terrible creature hurt your community and you vow to hunt them down. What are they, and what unique trait or sign do they leave behind? Let's grab our dagger guide. What did I call it? Heart guide. Heart guide. And we are going to roll some verbs and see what we come up with. We have a 2d12. So the arc means that the ones in the middle will come out more often. So what do we have? We have a 9 on our verbs. Commune, nature's, God's, spirits. Okay, so we know that it came in and hit our commune. We know that. What about a noun? Let's give a noun. 14. Bloodlines. Okay, so something, a terrible creature. The Bloodhaunt. The Bloodhaunt stole my sister, and I've been hunting for it ever since. What sort of trail does it leave? Stolen children. So we're pursuing a thing that steals children and trying to save the children. Your first kill almost killed you too. What was it, and what part of you has never been the same after that event? I killed a wolf, which was the mother of my companion, which was a little cub. I was attacked by the wolf as I stumbled into the pack's area. The wolf attacked me, I defeated it and killed the wolf, and then discovered that there was a small cub and I took that as my companion and swore to look after it because I'd killed its mother. You've travelled many dangerous lands, but what is the one place you refuse to go to? Let's say the mountains, because we're going to say that this person is afraid of heights. Now I know, because of the end of the starting adventure, that we are going to have to go up the spire for some reason, and we can then incorporate that in that this person is afraid of heights. Then we've got connections. Ask your fellow. So we can't really do the connections part because we haven't got anyone to connect with yet. So we've got some of our background stuff done. What is next in our process? Next in the process is create your experiences. I'm going to say grit your teeth and push through the fear at +2. And that is the mountaintops bit and the fear of heights. So which gives our character the ability to push through fearful situations because they spend a lot of their time on their own in the Sablewood. There's a lot of things in the Sablewood that wants to kill you. So this person needs to grit their teeth and push through that fear. And we're also going to have loyal. And this comes from realizing that they killed the mother of the cub, and thus they now feel a loyalty and a debt. Loyalty and debt. They feel a debt of honor for certain things. So that's our experiences. We can change experience. Now we've got our domain cards. So we get 2 domain cards from our domain. So we have Bone and Sage. Out of Bone, we have 3 agility maneuvers. Deft maneuver, once per rest, mark a stress to sprint anywhere within far range without making an agility roll to get there. If you end this movement within melee range of an adversary and immediately make an attack against them, you gain a +1 bonus. Untouchable, gain a bonus to your evasion equal to half of your agility. Ooh. I see it coming. When you're targeted by an attack made beyond melee range, you can mark a stress to roll d4 and gain a bonus to your evasion equal to the result against the attack. Untouchable, which would be, so that would make our evasion 11. So we might do that. We might start off with untouchable, which makes our evasion 11. I guess that's innate because it doesn't say mark a stress. Oh, we might have a spell as the other one, which is Vicious Entangle. So there's 3 to choose from, a spell and 2 agilities, which is the Sage ones. We've got Gifted Tracker, which means that we can get information, but based on the fact that we are the GM as well, there's no point doing that. Nature's Tongue, we can talk to the forest and get information off the forest, which could be quite cool. Or we have Vicious Entangle, which is a spell. Make a spell casting roll against a target within far range. On a success, roots and vines reach out from the ground, dealing 1d8 physical damage and temporarily restraining the target. I think we're going to have that. We're going to take that. So our Fawn is also a bit of a spellcaster. So those are our domain cards. And that, I think, is that for our character. We'll decide name. Where our level is 1. There is a space for pronouns. I haven't decided that yet. And that is our Fawn Ranger. We now have our Wolf Companion. Let's see how we do our companion. Name our companion. Wolf. Their evasion starts at 10. Choose their companion experience. Create 2 experiences for your companion based on their training and history you have together. Start with +2 in both experiences. Whenever you gain a new experience, your companion also gains 1. Alright, we're going to have loyal until the end and protective. Okay, to start off with, they have a D6 attack at level 1. Their standard attack would be a bite, and it's at melee range. Their stress is 3. I think this is it. I think that's it. I think we have our wolf. We have our wolf companion. Our wolf companion, Wolf, and our Fawn Ranger. All right, so that is basically creating a character. It's probably not as long as I took because I'll cut loads of the silences out as I was reading and double checking on things. And also, I couldn't find the level 1 cards because I put them in a card box, which I hadn't taken out. So that's it. Thank you very much. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, do consider subscribing and you'll be able to watch the rest of the Daggerheart series. Thank you so much. to the Adventurers Guild for all your support in creating these videos. If you'd like to support, you can purchase any of the books from Drive Thru that I have produced. You can join the Adventurers Guild to get early access to the videos and support the creating of the videos, or you can give a super thanks, like the little thanks star things, or a coffee thank you. There are various ways of supporting. Thank you so much. We will begin our adventures with our ranger, who you'll find out their name next week and their description next week, in the Sablewood, using the new Sablewood guide that you will be able to purchase next week. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you later. Bye.